Good morning again, everyone. Thank you for joining today's webinar. Solutions, and I'm happy to be joined today by my partner at Oracle, Alex Boycest. Hello, Alex.
Hey, good morning, Jason. Can you hear me?
Hear you just fine, my friend. And today, me and Alex will be talking about bots are helping government organizations and utility companies save costs or cut costs and streamline operations. So here's our agenda for today's meeting. We're going to dive in and discuss initially what some of the problems that government organizations face today, not unlike other organizations looking to cut costs in customer service, customer support areas, but really just serving the community as best they possibly can. We'll introduce chatbots and how Oracle and Fishbowl are really partnering together to deliver purpose-built chatbots for specific use cases within the government, and how Oracle's platform really brings that market-leading technology into play so that you can build these chatbots from a no-code development perspective or low-code development perspective. Alex is going to give you a demo of one use case and how it's being satisfied with a chatbot through some various channels. We'll specifically detail some of the problems that the government organizations are having in terms of what we're seeing in the industry. The poll question that we launched, the majority of you responded that as far as automation and streamlining operations, it really comes down to that customer service aspect. So the majority of you answered that that is the initiative you'd be working on and where you would want to see some automation gains there. At the end, we'll talk a little bit about how Fishbowl plays in and how we partner with Oracle to bring really this framework, this out-of-the-box framework that really help you jumpstart your chatbot development. I'll give another flavor of a demo to kind of really show you the art of the possible, get you thinking about how a chatbot could be used in your organization as you really think about the use cases it would help satisfy. And then at the end, we'll have summary and questions. So a point about the questions as I cover off some of the housekeeping items for today's webinar. Questions can be asked throughout the webinar through the actual Zoom interface. There's a little applet where you can actually type in your question. And if you do that, we'll be able to see them and we'll take those questions at the end. I also wanted to let everyone know that this webinar is being recorded. So when by registering for the webinar, you'll get a recording of the webinar after we're all done here. Within a day or two, you'll be sent a recording of the webinar. So if you miss anything, you can listen and watch the recording. So the reason we're here is really to take a look at a traditional model of servicing a customer is really having that customer call in to a service hotline or customer support line. And it's the same refrain. I'm sure we've all gone through this. You dial in, you hear music, you hear more music, you're asked to make a numeric choice, make another choice, hear more music, hear more music. It's almost like you're in this loop until you actually hear something or someone say, all agents are busy. So you hold the line and you hear more music. So framing that up, that's about a minute and 20 seconds, estimate that you could probably expect when you call into one of these lines. So the question is, how can we improve this? And so what the industry is saying, and I'm sure we're all kind of just aware of this intuitively, is that process of getting support, and a lot of times support for really, really simple and basic questions, is very annoying. So industry data suggests that 43% find that those type of systems very annoying. I'm sure it's even higher than that. And these same people are saying that if they just had another channel, a simple question to get an answer, they would use it. So what we're seeing is a lot of organizations are moving to live chat. And with live chat, as we'll talk about today with chatbots, you could improve that whole customer service experience. I want to make it clear that that goes the same for government. So, a lot of times government organizations are kind of, the case study for bad customer service. And a lot of times that's just because you don't have the right amount of staff to service all the customers. So in the picture depicted here, you expect to be waiting in line or being on hold for a long time before you can actually ask your question and get an answer. Well, what I just described is the same for government. So people are aware of the technologies available, are aware of the automation that's possible, and now they're expecting those same automation gains and the ability to get something done more quickly from the government organizations as well. So what we're going to touch on today is how chatbots integrated with artificial intelligence and natural language processing are all helping organizations, including government organizations, streamline their operations and reduce costs. So the solution that I've described and we're going to talk about are called chatbots. And just to level set on what a chatbot is, it's really a computer program. So programmatically, someone has worked with this solution, this software, to depict and create a dialogue flow of questions that might be asked and what the answers should be. And there's really two types of bots. There's more the task-oriented, which I think pretty familiar. You have a certain task, you have a question. From a government perspective, it could be you're just wondering about park hours, or maybe you're interested in reserving a picnic shelter at a park. And so you can go on there, ask questions about that, and it could actually go from asking questions about the park hours and picnic shelters available to actually reserving a picnic shelter. So it's really that FAQ-based chatbot experience that you're looking to fulfill a task. The other type of chatbot is more the data-driven and predictive, where based on a login, based on an integration to a back-end identity system, once you're into the chatbot experience and the questions get asked, it's going to ask who you are, and it's going to be able to query or link to back-end data systems to pull more information to satisfy your request. And the example I'll share there is, let's say you got a promotion at work, you want to change your title on your business card, you want to have a new business card printed. Through a chatbot, it could initiate this conversation with who you are, query the back-end system, get your new title, show you a proof of your business card, and get that printed. So this could become a personal HR assistant where it's, again, linking to a back-end HR, HCM system to pull more information and really help you fulfill that request of getting your new business cards created. So why chatbots and why now? So the biggest thing is mobile devices. Everyone has one, they're always connected. When you have your mobile device with you, you expect that with that device, you can do certain things. You can chat with people, you can talk with people, you can find information. And so you're always on. So all those smartphones, connected to all these various different data sources, you have the power of that information in your hand. The same hand, there's a lot of frustration with apps overall. Now, apps aren't dying, they're not going away, but what we see is app fatigue. So having to maintain an app, and what that looks like is going to the stores to first find them, and then once you have it downloaded, there's an update that might occur, and you kind of just have to manage the apps that you have on your mobile device. That being said, though, Messenger is the most popular app. So if you include WhatsApp with Facebook, there's over 1 billion people on Messenger. And that really points to people want to engage. They want to chat. They want that type of conversational experience with other people. And as they have that with other people, they expect that to get from a business or organization, public service organization or entity as well. And it really just points to, again, that 24/7 customer engagement. Have a question regardless of when it is. They want to engage and get questions answered and be to how they're supposed to present what it is they're trying to do. And one of the stats that I'll share there is a lot of call centers have already moved to a chat-based customer support model or augmented their support line or their customer support system with chat. organizations will make, though, is that chatbots can sometimes be compared to an interactive voice response system, and so an organization that's already invested in that, you say, well, I'm set. We have that set up. We can direct people there. They get their questions answered, and they can move on. Well, there's still a lot of frustration with IVR systems because the bottom line is an IVR system can't understand. You're prompted. If you want to get out of that linear kind of dialogue, you have to go back. So main menu, and then you kind of start over. Just kind of frustrating that you can't actually get your question asked and get the resolution that you have pictured because you're in this linear mode. On the other hand, chatbots can understand context. So you can more quickly get to the intent of your conversation, directly tell the bot what you're looking for, and you could call into your government service center and ask for license purchase, and it could ask you what license, and move to getting a license purchased, and then asking what are some fees. So you could change the dialogue from a license purchase to fees that might be applicable to any of the licenses that you're looking to purchase. So additional fees in the overall cost of that license. So that's really a real life conversation if you think about it too. They're not linear, and that's where chatbots really can be compared to an IVR and actually say, because of the contextual nature of a chatbot and understanding context, it can be better and actually replace an IVR system. Also wanted to make a comparison with a website. So you might also be saying, well, the website for our city, for our government, all the information's there. It's just a matter of someone coming to our website, navigating, searching, and finding it. And that's really the problem, is all the information is there, but what you typically see with a lot of government websites and other organizational websites as well, all that information is present, but it's laid out in such a way that it's just very dense. And trying to get someone information, what we usually see is pointing to a big PDF that they have to download. So again, somewhat inconvenient. And if a person can't find what they're looking for, they actually will abandon their session. And so that's one person that came to your site looking for information, maybe even to make a purchase, and they've left. With that person leaving, the end result that we usually see is, well, they're just going to call the customer service hotline anyway. So again, perpetuates the problem, high customer service costs, low call center resolution because of that frustration navigating a website. But what we've seen organizations do, including the screenshot from an organization in Montana, is they actually put a chatbot directly on their website. And very familiar to most people, this chat interface. It's also mobile optimized. Again, stating that people want to have this conversation, this mobile app on a website could actually direct people to certain sections of the website based on what they're asking to get the next level of information they need to make a decision, move forward with a purchase, whatever it might be. And all of this is made possible by Oracle and their autonomous mobile cloud platform, which the chatbot, intelligent chatbot feature, you can use this industry-leading platform, if you will, to quickly build chatbots that let your customers engage in these natural conversations that I've described. You can deploy it on a website, on a mobile app, messaging apps, even digital voice assistants like Alexa. And then you can really extend that and integrate that with your back-end systems like I described, an HCM system or human resources system, or to really provide that that next personalization to engage the user further. And this is a very natural thing. So with this conversational user interface, through text or speech, all integrated with the enterprise systems, it includes what I described as artificial intelligence and natural language processing, really built in with this really cool technology, called neural networks and machine learning, and then respond appropriately with information and results of transactions from any API connections to back-end systems and information sources that are available. And overall, the system really makes it easy to train your bot. And so over time, it's just going to learn, and you'll be able to surface based on some analytics what the most common questions are, and really get the bot trained to respond and really have this very natural conversation to progress people through a dialogue. As I mentioned, just wanted to, again, make it known that, with this technology, our analysts are already identifying Oracle as a leader in this space. What they put together is this low-code chatbot development platform that is very robust yet affordable and provides that interface to really create your chatbot and then deploy it to the channel that you're looking to have conversational interfaces with. So this technology has been deployed at numerous organizations. I just wanted to share one success story with you here, City of San Jose. They were really looking to empower their public and empower them by sharing information very easily. So they rolled out an application based on the Oracle Mobile Cloud where they allow the people to report on potholes, graffiti, abandoned vehicles, streetlight outages, and illegal dumping. So you're really powering your public to take action when they see these things. And then when they see them, they can take a picture, they can use the application to report that instance, upload that picture, and then it goes into the back-end system, and then even track it all the way through. So if you did report a pothole, let's say, you would be notified of when it was actually fixed. And the power of this is really the back-end integration. So depending on what was reported, it would go to the applicable department within that organization to service that request. So a very powerful, very easy to use tool. And what this is, San Jose, what they project that this will do is really improve the city overall, much, make it cleaner, more safe, more attractive to outside, people that might be considering moving there. Because I'll turn it over to Alex, and he's going to show you a little flavor of how chatbots can be used.
So thank you to all of our customers for joining, and thanks for Jason at Fishbowl for helping us with this event. I wanted to take just a few minutes to give you a quick overview of a few chatbots that we built for different customers. And this is primarily just to give you an idea on how we can publish, how the Oracle Management Cloud platform, that's a chatbot platform, can actually have a conversation, have a dialogue with a citizen through different interfaces. So what you're seeing on the screen is the Facebook interface. And then I will also show you how you can talk directly through an interface on your website. So let me just start and looking at this one we call the Metropolis City Services. And what you see on the bottom there is a menu that the bot puts up. And whenever you want to talk to it, you can actually just type home or menu, and it'll bring you back to that menu. Looks like I had it running for too long. Let me see if I can wake it up again. So what you see here is we've just exposed some services that a city might want to provide to its citizens, such as, for example, transit schedule, and just to give you an idea how this behaves. And in this case, we're offering just a couple of options here, our bus and subway schedules. And what the Oracle Oracle Mobile Cloud platform allows you to do is actually either pull that information from an internal system, from a database, let's say, if you have that information in an application, an internal application, or actually you could pull it via a web service from another public site, right? So in this example, it's actually going to the MTA site, New York City site, and pulling that information and opening that, displaying that to the end user in a window. So let me just go back to, so that's, just the way the platform works. The platform has the mobile cloud platform has a front end set of services, so it can talk to different channels or different interfaces, like in this case, Facebook, or as Jason was mentioning, a digital assistant like Alexa, or even a mobile app, right? Even a user's mobile application. And on the back end, it can actually talk to web services, or maybe your ERP or your HR system, or other systems that contain information that citizen is looking for. So here's another one that shows kind of a different set of functionality. Let me look at the graffiti. Here's a chatbot service that says, please provide the description of the graffiti. And I'll say red paint on wall. And then it can ask me to actually send an image of that graffiti. And I took an image of this graffiti that was painted on a wall I saw this morning on my way to work, and I can actually upload it. Somebody painted this on our wall. So, and I'm just gonna say send here. So it sends the image. And the bot is also asking me, so it has a capability, of course, for you to upload files or images. And it can also actually send my location. So it actually can use the location service on my laptop. In that case, it uses probably information about my Wi-Fi location. If I were doing this on a phone, it could actually make use of the GPS services on the phone to identify the location. And I can, just specify where I saw this. Actually, this is where I work. So I'm going to say, try to pinpoint it the closest to the location where it showed that and where I saw that graffiti, and then send the location to my city manager, let's say, or whoever is responding to this, whoever's managing the bot. So another thing, and let me just go back to my main menu here. Another use that we've seen in many cases is citizens come to the city site looking for what I'll call complex tasks. And in this case, I'm going to give you a quick example of a complex interaction that you might have, and that might take a city worker a few minutes, maybe sometimes even an hour or so to respond to all these questions. So you can actually implement that as a conversation through this mobile cloud platform. So in this case, this is a citizen who wants to start a business, and they want to get information. Typically, that would require, some research and maybe spending a time at, scanning many pages through your website to get all this information. So in this case, we've exposed that information through a bot, and I'm just going to go quickly through the conversation or the dialogue this new business owner or small business owner would have with your services, or your help desk, or your information services at your city. So I'm just going to answer these questions. It's about what type of business they're starting, if they have vending machines, if they're going to sell lottery tickets, they're going to sell medication. So basically, the bot is collecting information in order to prepare information or a report that it's going to provide to this new business owner. At the end of this conversation or this dialogue, what the bot does is actually prepares a document for this user, and then provides it as a document here, as a PDF attachment. And I'll actually let me go back up here and select. I have a problem here with my mouse. Just 1 second. Let me scroll up. I can't see my scroll bar, so. So what I can do is I can actually download that document, and that's been produced by the interaction, or the content of that document has been produced by the answers I supplied to the bot. And what you should be able to see here is the responses, or the document, or the form that the city provided to this small business owner on how to start a business. So, of course, you can brand this with your city information or any other resources that small business owner might need in order to start a business. So that is just another type of interaction that you can enable through the Oracle Mobile Cloud Platform. We have a utilities bot. So for example, if you need to collect payments. I typically show this to show how you can actually also engage in a financial transaction with the city and request a credit card number or a checking account information to do that. But let me just show you another example on how people use bots. And this is a campus bot. And what it does, if I start with hello, for example, it says, hello, Sam, what do you want? And I can actually ask it about admissions information. And it'll respond to me. Do you want to start an application for the academic period, et cetera? But the reason why I like to show this bot is one of the reasons why the customer requested this type of interface is because they needed to respond in multiple languages. So if I talk to the bot in Spanish, for example, it will actually initiate a conversation, or it should. Let me actually start over. Sorry about that. So bot's a little bit confused. Let me just see if I can exit this. But what I wanted to show you, I apologize, it's not doing what I expected it to do. But what the bot does, it actually responds in multiple languages. So I can type in French, and I'm not able to get this to exit from the flow. So bots can also be sometimes nasty or stubborn, but the demo there was to show you that this bot actually responds to multiple languages. And now the multilingual capability is not part of the Oracle mobile cloud platform. It's actually calling a translation interface, that actually translates the input, the text that you input, and also the response. So apologies that's not behaving well today. So what I wanted to show you is that these bots can actually be plugged into your website. So here I have just a generic, a sample city site, and then typically you might have a site like this built on on a web server or built on a platform like from, I don't know, there's multiple cities use platforms like Tyler Technologies or Civic Plus to build websites like this for their citizens to get information about different services. And typically what we see is that these sites are very heavily loaded with information and services and information that the citizens have to navigate through to find the information they need. So what we wanted to highlight here is that you can build a chatbot interface. You can build a button like the one here at the bottom right that actually just goes and talks to the Oracle mobile cloud platform, the mobile cloud service, which is again a web service, and then allows you to respond or to bring the right information, initiate a dialogue with your citizens. So this is the bot that you saw a few minutes ago, the one that we were talking to with the traffic or the transit information. This is the same bot that we were using, and basically I think the last conversation I was having to it was about transit services. So you can see it's the same interface that you saw on Facebook. So just to summarize, we offer a mobile cloud platform. It allows you to create these types of dialogues or conversational interfaces with your users, and you can expose them through your own website, or you can expose it through Facebook if you have a Facebook page for the city, which we see many cities these days provide a Facebook area for their users to visit. Or you can also embed this into your apps if you have a mobile app that you develop for your citizens. The easiest way, if you're interested in testing some of this out, at the end, Jason has a slide with some links so that you can actually subscribe to the Oracle mobile cloud platform. There is a 30-day free trial that we offer our customers, and we've seen some cities actually subscribe to this and develop bots on their own. So the backend or the development services are very easy to use. And we just let us know if you'd be interested in testing some of these. If you have a particular use case that you would like to implement as a bot, and we'd be glad to help you initiate an evaluation project like this. So I'm going to turn it back to Jason.
All right, so I just wanted to reiterate some of those business problems. You know, we started off initially talking about the problems that we see in customer service support departments. You know, that's obviously not unique to any one organization. There's organizations across industries all have that problem. And we've also see problems with onboarding employees. Again, not a unique problem to any organization, but also the ability for this public engagement. So in terms of the first one, again, really reiterating that, you know, it costs a lot of money to serve customers. And if, you know, with government organizations not being able to staff, you know, have a lot of staff to service customers and have a service hotline for customers outside of, you know, very busy times of the year like tax season, it can be a real financial burden for organizations. So, you know, as Alex showed, a chatbot on a public website or used through social media could really help with this. Not only could it provide first call interaction support and even perhaps replace an IVR system, it could also be used to get common questions answered quickly, avoiding the need for your residents to send an email, make a phone call, or even write a letter. You could also use the chatbot to submit a form. So you know, that form could be, you know, let's say you want to rate a park, or, you know, because as part of rating that park, you know, the ratings can be seen across social media. And again, that's another way for a city to attract residents, you know, to that community, or even make payments online as well. And the chatbot could help you with that. And as Alex mentioned as well, a chatbot can offer multilingual support. So even in, you know, very diverse communities, you could provide one common interface to help service your residents. So we built chatbots with that using the Oracle Mobile Cloud with Intelligent Chatbots feature to really help with that customer service aspects, from FAQs to form submission and reporting issues like we talked about. Alex mentioned you can integrate with back-end third-party systems. So that's all part of the customer service chatbot that can be built. The other problem that we've seen is, again, this, you know, maybe most people that work in the public sector haven't always worked there. They might have came from the private sector. And so there's a lot of new lingo to learn, new policies, procedures, keeping up to date on all that stuff. You know, so that all becomes problematic in getting onboarded. So a chatbot could really be this virtual HR assistant to point employees to requisite training, necessary training, where to find manuals, how to do certain things, what the processes are to fulfill a request, whatever it might be. So we've also built out bots there that I'll show you in just a minute, where it's really that virtual assistant to get those questions answered from an employee perspective. They can be personalized. So based on who the person is asking the question, more personal responses can be served up to that person based on their intent. And again, integrations are all possible with those back-end data systems. We also shared a little bit about how cities like San Jose and others are, you know, really providing this other channel to collect feedback from the community. And one of that, as you consider the use cases, you know, a lot of people don't go to the council meetings, they don't go to the town halls, whatever. They're kind of intimidated by that, but they still want to provide feedback. So a chatbot could provide this interface to provide that feedback, where they could give feedback on whatever it is about the community that they're interested in, candidates for mayor or sheriff, and then they could also be directed to see where those candidates stand on policy, so they're very well informed before they actually go make their vote. So we're just scratching the surface on use cases for chatbots within government organizations and utility companies. You know, we touched on, could be a conduit for civic reporting, shared the example of the potholes and graffiti that Alex showed in the demo, really helping navigate a website. So we talked about how a website can be very bloated, pointing to PDFs, can help people find what they're looking for by just helping them navigate the website and where to look for information. And then really submit online payments. So if that's a problem where you're seeing a lot of paper forms, you're seeing, you know, a lot of walk-up type transactions, a chatbot could be used to help augment some of those payment system transactions that you're dealing with today. And so Fishbowl's partnered with Oracle to really bring these technologies to organizations and in government across all the verticals. We've really started, partnering with Oracle. We started partnering with Oracle over 19 years ago on content management, and this is just kind of a natural progression for us, kind of where the customers are taking us for these conversational user interfaces, the technologies available today, again, using artificial intelligence and natural language processing to really serve up this next level of interaction that customers are looking for. So we've really invested a lot of time over the last year to build up these chatbots. And the chatbots that I'll show you in just a minute really are the framework for that are all based on our Atlas chatbot framework. We provide multiple UI support, so you could use Facebook, your website, deploy to a mobile device. You could also use collaboration systems like Slack. You can share your location. We also have custom analytic integrations. That's obviously a big part of the chatbot experience, is getting data for who's using it, what the intents are. That's part of the training for the chatbot as well, but that analytics can actually bring some of that information to light. So we integrate with mobile cloud. I wanted to show kind of how that integration is made possible. One sample architecture diagram. So again, it's really simple. From our perspective, our framework, you pick your channel that you want to deploy your chatbot through. A little Node.js server gets deployed. We then communicate all the intents and utterances and entities are within the Oracle Autonomous Cloud, as well as the integrations. So we can integrate to any of the Oracle applications as well as those third-party applications. Alex mentioned Tyler Technologies, very popular application within government, multiple applications that they serve and develop, and then really deliver that to the experience you're looking for. So I'm just going to cut over to a quick demo to show you another flavor of how these chatbots can be used. And this is a chatbot through Facebook, obviously, that is really about, in this example, it's for sanitation, so your garbage pickup, basically. So, for example, let's say you're new to the community and you want to sign up for the removal. Show you that it's working. You can send a location to where you're at. It'll know that you're there. I'm now registered for the service. You can then look at your charges. So it gives you what the charges are for that service. And then you can ask them specifically, based on that location, when my recycling will be picked up. So again, just one flavor, another flavor of a chatbot used on Facebook. You can go to you can go to basically any organization that you can think of. You can go to their Facebook page, click on send message, and you'll know whether they have a chatbot being used, because if there's a delayed response and someone doesn't get back to you right away or say they'll get back to you, you would know that it's an actual person in the background answering those questions. I also did want to share a few other examples. This example is, let's say within your organization you have to look up the price for a part, but could be anything really that you need to order for your organization. And a lot of these interactions are just basically, if you don't know what to do, you can just start off by typing help. You type on help, and let's say I do want to order a specific product that I need to supply my organization with, like office supply, whatever it might be. Now at this point, Alice, the chatbot is querying the backend data system and say, okay, found it. You can now order the part. And I'll take you through that dialogue of getting that ordered. Say 10. And then you have part of the chatbot experiences. You can have drop down or buttons like Alex showed. And you can fulfill that order. So the other one I wanted to show from the problems we talked about was onboarding or HR. And again, you can just start with help, give you a list of all the things that you can ask the chatbot. And that could be, hey, I'm new, so I need to know about what are the policies of the organization, so where's the employee handbook? I'll point you to that. And even simple ones like how much PTO I have left. And then if you wanted to actually submit PO requests, you could do that through the chatbot. So again, just wanted to show some other examples to get you to think about ways the chatbot could be used either externally or internally within your organization. As you think about deploying a chatbot with Oracle Mobile Cloud, Autonomous Mobile Cloud, with their chatbot feature, with the Atlas framework, what we tell people is really think about their biggest pain points or use case within their organization and make a case for a proof of concept. We've done a lot of proof of concepts with organizations to really help them frame up their use case. Pick the channels or channel that you want to use your chatbot. You want to use your chatbot. What backend data systems you need to integrate with. You launch your POC, you get people using it, you collect the feedback, present your findings, and then you can launch your government-based chatbot in about 2 months. So this is what we've seen consistently with all the customers we're working with, but it really starts with understanding that use case and the problems you're. So as we wrap up here, I just wanted to leave you some more stats that we're seeing. Artificial intelligence, as we talked about with chatbots, they're really helping organizations across industries, but really from a government perspective, it'll really help government agencies to serve the public and their internal workforce now and well into the future. If you consider social services agencies, public safety organizations, even the IRS, any agency tasked with serving hundreds, thousands, millions of people, they can all benefit from the efficiency and customer satisfaction that this technology can provide. And similarly, the workforce, so you all, can benefit from more up-to-date, accurate information provided by this technology internally. So as I showed a small flavor of the HR onboarding bot, consider your own virtual assistant to help you get your work done within sometimes a very complex business world and serving the public. So as we conclude here, I just wanted to summarize, Oracle has this great technology out there. They're a leading company with this technology. They have a low-code bot designer, analytics that are built in with this machine learning and artificial natural language dialogue flows of a chatbot. And then we partner with Oracle and have been partnering with Oracle to this framework, as I mentioned, has multiple channel support and interfaces, pre-built intents and UI buttons to really help with the dialogue of getting customers interacting and engaging to get their questions answered and move forward with any decisions they need to make. And hopefully, everyone realizes that although this technology is not new, we're already seeing customers that have deployed it and having success with it, including this case study for the city of San Jose in California. So really, as we conclude here, and if there's any questions, we can answer them. I do see that there are a few questions that came in. Really appreciate everyone taking the time to join us today. Hopefully, we were able to give more insight into what chatbots are and how they can help government organizations, help your organization, cut costs and streamline operations. And through the demos, hopefully kind of just give you the art of the possible scenarios of where chatbots could be used and how you could use them within your organization. So as we think about next steps, really just start thinking about with your colleagues and department heads, what are you trying to solve in your organization that hasn't been able to be automated so far? So what is the biggest pain in your organization, the opportunity or use case that you could see a chatbot working? And then have a call with Fishbowl and Oracle to really dig in and put together more of a purpose-built conversation and even a demo of how a chatbot could help solve that use case or business problem. If there are any questions, you can reach out to Oracle directly. My colleague in help putting this together, or my partner at Oracle, is Gerald Benbow. I have his contact information here. You can always reach out to Fishbowl directly. For those that have been able to stick around, we're a couple minutes over. but we did have a few questions. One of those questions, I think Alex did address this, is do chatbots offer multilingual support? The answer to that is yes. So another question we have here is, you know, I shared 2 months to roll out a chatbot. Again, that's really going to depend on the use case and the complexities that you have with your integrations and how many intents there are. That's what we've kind of seen so far. A lot of organizations with chatbots have kind of just, you know, initially dipped their toe in the water. They run the POC, they think about their use case and simplifying it, and that could be for, you know, we're working with an organization that is really just looking to help customers reset their password and track their packages, for example. But again, by doing that, they're avoiding those calls in the help desk or the customer support center. So you can obviously see the ROI that would be available there. So I've left you with some additional resources. I definitely encourage you to go out and explore more of what Oracle and Fishbowl have to offer on the chatbot side. And you know, download some assets and watch some videos, give you some other ideas on how chatbot could be deployed.